This is Elisa, and today I wanted to share with you a really fun technique. In fact, it's one of my favorite techniques to do. It's super easy, but yet looks super cool. So as you can see here, there's some pieces that I've already made, and what I used was the brand new souffle clay by Sculpey. And this is a variety pack they have, but it does come in the individual colors just like Primo or Sculpey 3 or whatnot. So you can use any color. You can use any color of paint because there's paint involved. They have a kit that comes with gold and silver, but I didn't think those colors would show up well on camera, so I'm not going to use them. I have just regular acrylic paint, and that's what you want to use is acrylic paint. And it comes in a set that comes with this little tool. And so you know what we're actually doing here, because I know it's mysterious to some of you, is we're silk screening, which is, like I said, one of my favorite techniques, and I've been doing it for years. And I must say that Polyform, which is the makers of Sculpey, got it right this time. This is absolutely gorgeous, the designs that they made. They really got it right. I don't know how well you can see this, but it's on a white back paper. That's what it actually comes on. But there's all kinds of designs. I'll show you. There's a zebra, floral, swirls, geometric patterns. Let's show you this one. This is a bigger, like a mandala with feathers going around and different designs, so an Indian inspired design. There's this one, which is flowers and a Moroccan design and all kinds of fun, unique designs. And then there's this one, which is an overall kind of design where you would just basically pick and choose pieces that you want to silk screen. So really cool designs, and all four of these designs came in the same package that the paint came with, and this little tool to get started came in there. I can't remember if there was anything else, but I know all of these come in the packet. So you get all this, and silk screens are not cheap normally. I don't know what this is going to retail for, but I've paid as much as $15 for one silk screen. So I know it's going to be considerably less, you know, and you're going to get 4 in it. So super, super cool. Really excited about this product. Way to go, Polyform. Keep it up. So now let me show you how I get the designs. These are actually on the back. These are like a lentil bead, you know, or half of a lentil bead. So I'll show you that as well. So let me move these out of the way. I have a piece of clay here, and I'm using the souffle to give you an idea. And let me talk just a tiny bit about the properties of the souffle. It's a little warm for me. I live in northern Florida, and it's too mushy for me. I probably would not use this clay all the time. Maybe in the winter, because I absolutely love the clay. It has a great feel to it, but in the summer it's just not conducive to my climate. So, but it is summer, but I wanted to show you the clay, so I'm going to show you it anyways. It just might be a little stretchy. So let's pick a design here. I'm going to go with one I haven't even tried out yet, which is that swirl. So let me tell you the difference and actually what you need to know to use these. There's two sides. There's a shiny side, and then there's a dull side. The dull side is always on top, so you always want your shiny side to go face down onto the clay. So remember that. Shiny side, face down, and you'll be good. So you condition a piece of clay like I've done already here, and you know, depending on what project you're going to make, you go, you know, whatever thickness you think you need for that project. I did a number 3 on my pasta machine, but I don't even know what I'm doing with these yet, so don't go by that. Now, there's options with the tools. Like I said, this comes in the kit, but you don't have to use it. If it doesn't work well for you, then use something else. You can use a credit card, which is a little stiffer, like an old credit card, or you can use a squeegee type of tool. And this comes from Stanislaus, Stanislaus. And I think you can find them online. So I prefer this tool. Although this does work just fine, I prefer this because I feel like I have more control. You know, it's smaller and, you know, it's easier for me to pull paint. So totally up to you. Whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. So I'm actually, oops, sorry about that. I'm actually going to use one of these pieces of papers to put my paint down. Because what we're actually going to do is we're going to take some paint, and you don't need a ton. And I could put the paint directly onto the silk screen, or I could put it onto something else and then just pick it up with my... I like to put it onto something else because then I could just pick it up and get it ready to go before I drag it across. You'll see. All right, so I'm going to use this blue, and it's just by Basics, which is Liquitex's brand, and what's the color here? I don't even know. Oh, it's called Light Blue Violet. So Light Blue Violet if you want to check that color out. And so I just moved the paint around a little because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it on the tip of my squeegee. And if you were going to use this tool, you would do the same thing because you just want it on the tip because we're going to pull it across to imprint the design. So here you go. You don't need too much, and this might even be too much. So you'll have to figure it out as you start going. And I'm going to do both of these designs at the same time. And before I start, let me just say one thing that's most important is that once you do this, you want to immediately wash your silk screens and your tools. Because the one thing that could happen is if you accumulate too much paint on your silk screen, if you don't wash it off really well, there's little tiny holes in the silk screen. That's how you imprint it. And so if you clog up those holes, the paint's not going to go through and you're not going to get a good design. So you need to remember that you must wash your silk screens immediately after you do it. I mean, you have a couple seconds, but you don't want to throw it on your work table and forget about it. Actually, Sculpey suggests that you take a thing of warm water and have it on your desk, and as soon as you do it, throw it in the warm water, which is another great tool. But I know me personally, I would spill it. So, and I have a sink here, so I'm going to just do that. Okay, so here we go. So I have my paint ready to go. Let me move this out of the way. And I'm going to just start here, and I'm going to just pull it across the design. And you can do this multiple times. I mean, you don't have to get it on one fell swoop. And when I'm doing this is I'm also scraping off some of the extra paint. So I still have paint left on here. Okay, you ready to see how simple that was? And you just peel it back. Can you get any easier and any cooler? I mean, seriously, silk screening is very easy, but yet you can get the most amazing designs. So I love it. I love it. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm going to have to stop here and go wash my tools, like I said, and I will be right back to show you what I'm going to do next. So I have washed out my silk screen, and one little tip I can give you about your silk screens in caring for them is I would let the shiny side going face up to dry. Like, in other words, you use it face down to print. Let it dry face up because it is a little sticky and it can end up sticking to whatever you are, drying it on. So that's just a little tip to remember. So they also created some graduated size cookie cutters, and they have these in a few different shapes, which you can check out, but I'm going to use the round ones. And I found that this particular size of the round cutters fits perfectly over these designs that are silkscreen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this on top and line it up so that I'm getting the whole design, and just get a little push, and then I like to rotate it a little. Then I know that it really got a good cut. And I would do the same with both designs, obviously. And I hope I'm cutting it right. I'm looking at it from way back here, so anyways, you'll get the gist. And then you just pull off your extra clay. That one's a little off, but no big deal. So anyways, Sculpey now has what is actually a palette where you can mix paint on one side, but on the other side is how you can create lentil beads. So, and lentil beads are these dome-shaped beads that you're seeing here. Actually, these aren't made into beads yet, but it's the lentil shape. so you can get the idea. Now they do sell some on the market here. This is a smaller size, so if you're looking for different sizes, this comes with graduated sizes, but if you don't find your right size, you can also just get a metal palette. So I actually made this one here on this metal palette because it was bigger, but yet I was able to press it down to get a different look. So I'll show you also about that circle in the middle. So anyways, let me show you how I kind of lay these on to the palette. So you want to just pick it up, and if you want to decide obviously what size you're going to do, because you can use any cookie cutter size you want. And then I would just lay it on the palette. You want to let this dry. You want to let your acrylic paint dry mostly, so that you're not going to mess up your design as you go. And you want to gently tap it down. And you want to make sure you get it nice and flush, because otherwise it's going to stick up and show in your design. And there you have it. That's how simple it is. And you can do whatever size you want. If you want to do a super big one because you want it to be more domed, you can do that. And just place it around with your fingers and shape it the way you want it to. Now, this can go directly in the oven because this is metal. So I would bake this at the manufacturer's suggested temperature. And for how long? I mean, this is a thin piece, so you shouldn't have to go for very long. It says 275 degrees for 30 minutes per 1/4 inch of thickness with the souffle clay. So you can bake this for about half an hour, and that should be plenty. So bake it right on there, and once it's cooled down, you could pop it right off and you'll have something just like this. Now, you can take different designs and you can piece them back to back and create beads. You can make a pendant that would hang down. You would add like a little piece of clay in the back and make it into a pendant. You can make a bracelet out of it, anything you want. You can make cute little earrings, put a hole in here, maybe dangle some things. I mean, the sky is the limit, and I'd love to see what you guys do with it. In fact, to give you a little more incentive to come show me what you're going to do with this kind of design, I'm going to give away this multi-pack of this souffle clay. And I want you to come over to polymerclaytv.com, and all the instructions on how you can enter to win this will be there. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 different colors to work with, and they could be yours. So come on over to polymerclaytv.com to see how you can win this. So I wanted to just show you how I made this one here. I basically just laid it on here, and I had a little tiny cookie cutter, and I just pieced it out and baked it like that. So that's really just a little simple extra thing you could do. So if you wanted to put a hole in here, you can use a round cookie cutter, a diamond shaped cookie cutter, whatever look you're going for, and that's how you could do that. And you could string this up by doing like a little knot over here, or you could put holes, or you could even put holes and dangle some beads. So really there's lots of ideas you can do with this. Just let your imagination run with it and have fun.